This is the instructions for how to do the vocabulary wiki, and right now it's December 17th, 2016. I'm actually recording this as an update of the instructions for my current AP Biology class. If you're viewing this video for the summer assignment, then the instructions are almost exactly the same for you with some minor differences. First thing is you need to be in Google Drive and you need to be logged into your Pacifica Christian Google account. So if you're in your personal Google account, you're not going to be able to access these files. Go into the class folder, and right now it's 2016 to 2017. And once you're in the class folder, go into the vocabulary wiki folder. And you should see the instructions right there. You should see the participation log right there. And then my current class has already done 2 vocabulary wikis. They did Big Idea 1 over the summer. They did Big Idea 2 over Thanksgiving break. And they're about to do Big Idea 4 for Christmas break. And then they're going to do Big Idea 3 over Easter break. So let's take a look at the instructions first. If you take a look in here, the introduction essentially tells you that we've got literally hundreds of vocabulary words in this course. It's kind of like science as its own language. And so in order to bring meaning to those words, I'm asking you to pick 6 of them and discuss them in depth. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to make an initial post for each of the 6 words that you choose. And in your initial post, you're going to give a definition. If you take a look at this bold part right here, a definition, an example, or a brief description of the word's significance. And then if you choose to, optional, you can add in a picture or an illustration. Let me show you what that would look like. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom of this document, and you should read these instructions more carefully on your own time as you do the vocabulary wiki. So here is a sample that I created just to show you what this would look like. Let's say that the vocabulary word is ions. And in this first box, box 2, I'm writing in a definition. And then in box 3, here is an example or a brief explanation. And then in box 4, here is a picture. And because I didn't draw the picture myself, I pulled it off the internet. I have to cite where I got this image from, otherwise it's plagiarism. And so I did that in, I think this is MLA format. You might be wondering, well, what happened to box 1? Why does it start with box number 2? That's because initially when I first created this assignment, I made the word itself box 1. I had a separate box for it, and then I realized, well, the name of the document is actually where we'd put the vocabulary word, so I don't need a box 1. But then I forgot to renumber the other boxes, and then I made a bunch of copies of it, and now it's everywhere in like all of my vocabulary wikis, and so it's too much work to go back and change the numbering. So yep, that's what it is. It's just boxes 2 through 7. Alright, so box 2, 3, and 4, that's your initial post. You have to do 6 of them by the first due date, and you have 3 separate due dates for this assignment. You can check those due dates in Portal. Once you have done that initial post, wait for the due date to pass, and then you're going to put in your value-added comments. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you take a look, here is how I'm going to grade you. Your initial posts will each be worth 4 points. Alright, so for the value-added comments, now you're going to go into other people's vocabulary wikis. So you're going to pick some of your classmates. Make sure that you're looking at 6 different students' wikis for your 6 value-added comments. So don't keep commenting on the same person's stuff over and over and over. And your value-added comments are where you're going to just kind of like add to our understanding of this word. And you can do that by asking a clarifying question. So what is something that confused you or that you're not sure about? You can ask a question that extends the concept. So how does putting this idea in a different context change its meaning? Let's say that someone else asked a question in one of their value-added comments. Well, then you can answer that question to the best of your ability. You can try to link up this vocabulary word with other vocabulary words that are in, in this folder. You can correct misstatements or inaccuracies, and you can also put in additional examples or newsworthy items. No matter what you do, your goal is to demonstrate your mastery of the ideas, concepts, and relationships that connect this vocabulary term to the big ideas, understandings, and essential knowledge statements that make up the framework of this course. So if I scroll down, let me move this up. So if I scroll down, here was my initial post on ions, and then Mary Poppins asks, well, in the definition, Ms. Yoon says that an ion can be a molecule that carries an electrostatic charge, but I thought that molecules are covalently bonded. Covalent bonds are formed when molecules share electrons. Doesn't that mean that molecules can't be ions? How can a molecule have a charge? Did Ms. Yoon make a mistake? So this is where Mary Poppins was like, well, I thought I understood what this meant, but now I'm confused. And so she's asking for clarification. Well, now our other classmate, Cookie Monster, has read my initial post and has read Mary Poppins' comment, and now Cookie Monster is going to add in his value-added comment. So notice that he writes his name in parentheses in that box, and then he says, me look up molecular ion in Google, yeah, and me find out from Wikipedia that molecular ion, also known as polyatomic ion, like bicarbonate, which is found in baking soda. When baking soda, which is a covalent compound, loses a proton, it gains a negative charge and becomes an ion. And you know what baking soda is used to make? Cookies. And then Kermit the Frog adds in a value-added comment that has nothing directly to do with either of the other two, and that's totally okay. So going back up, you've added in your value-added comments. It's going to be graded on a scale of 1 to 10. And there it is. By the way, avoid making the same types of value-added comments over and over. Like, don't keep writing questions on everyone's thing. That shows that you're not really trying to demonstrate your own understanding. So you can ask questions, you can respond to questions, you can talk about recent research or developments in the field or current news items that are related. You can correct misperceptions. You can try to show relationships to other vocabulary words, but don't just do one thing. Next, so now everyone has made their value-added comments. That due date has passed, and then the last part of this is you need to write a final comment. And this is where you're going to do things like correct inaccuracies or misstatements that other people made. Or maybe that you yourself made in your own initial post. So this is a final comment that you're making on your own post at the very, very end, once everyone has had a chance to comment on it. Let's say that someone asked a question on your post and nobody answered it. Well, now you should go back in and try to answer that. Let's say that someone wrote something or you wrote something, but it was kind of unclear or ambiguously worded or incomplete. Well, then clarify that. Or if you just have any additional insight. Let's say that nobody commented on your initial post. Well, then you can go ahead and comment on your own post. Just write in a value-added comment because nobody else did it. And that's going to be graded on a scale of 0 to 2. Make sure that you cite your sources, so anything that you didn't directly create yourself, whether it's information that you got from some source like your textbook or a research article or just a website, or an image that you pulled from somewhere, you need to cite where you got that information from, and you need to do it properly. Don't just drop in a URL. Next, you need to do the participation log. Just copy and paste all of your work into the participation log, and I'll show you how to do that in the next part of this video. And then next is, well, not next, but you should know that this is going to be graded out of 48 points. So each initial post is worth 4 points, each value-added comment is worth 10 points, and each final comment is worth 2 points, and that comes out to 48. Okay, so if you have any questions for me, then feel free to email me. I check my email roughly once every couple of days during breaks, and then I check them every day during the school year. Okay, so I showed you how to do the initial post and what I'm looking for in the value-added comments. And then we also took a brief look at the final comments. So the next thing is you have to take all of the work that you do and you have to put it into your participation log. And by the way, you don't want to just do this all at the very end. You should do it piece by piece as you're going through it, so that, you know, since you have 3 separate due dates, your initial post should be added into your participation log by that first due date so that I can grade it. Your value-added comments should be added in by the second due date so that I can grade it, and so on and so forth. So let's back out for a little bit. I'm going to show you how to set this up. Hopefully by now you've created your student folder in our Google Drive class folder. And here's the participation log. Once again, I'm in the vocabulary wiki folder. So I'm going to, you can just open it up, or you could make a copy directly from here by right-clicking. For me, I don't have a right-click on my trackpad, so I'm going to go up here to More Actions, that little 3-dot icon. And then I'm going to hit Make a Copy. And you don't want to just leave the copy in here, because if everyone did that, then it would just clutter up the folder. So you need to move the copy out into your own folder. So I'm going to drag my copy over to my drive, and then I'm going to drag it down to the class folder, and I'm going to drag it down to student folders. Let's put it in there. Okay, so let's go into the student folder. I'm working from a 2007 Mac, so it's pretty slow. Alright, so here is the participation log that I just copied, and I'm going to move it into Cherry's folder, and that's because I actually have to do a little bit of work on Cherry's behalf. She's in China right now, so she doesn't have access to Google, so I'm going to be creating her participation log for her. And then I'm going to send it to her so that she can do her work. Alright, so now it's inside her folder, and let's go inside and take a look and configure it. Oh, okay, it's really slow right now. Try not to fall asleep during this video, because it looks like it's going to be a long one since we're going to be doing some waiting around for stuff to load. Alright, so in here she already has her participation log for the Big Idea 1 vocabulary wiki that she did over the summer. That's this thing. And she also has the one that she did for the Big Idea 2 vocabulary wiki that she did over Thanksgiving break. She also has her graphing assignment, which was part of her summer assignment. And she also has her research methods presentation, which is one of the first things that she did once the school year started. It wasn't part of the summer assignment. So now let's go into the copy of the participation log that I just made. I'm going to open it up. It's still loading. Still loading. You guys notice it's 3:22 a.m. because this is one of the only times that I can actually do work, because the rest of the time I'm a mom. Yep, that is the truth. Alright, so let us change the title of this participation log. Once it loads, I will change the title. Are you guys having a good summer so far? If you're in my current class, it's actually winter for you, just like it is for me. Is it loaded yet? Nope. No, it is not. I wonder if I can splice this boring part out. Out of my video, I mean. I don't know, I'm just talking to myself at 3:24 in the morning. Okay, so I have put my cursor on the title, and I'm just going to change the name to Cherry. And then over here, I'm going to delete this. All right, so now it says participation log for Big Idea 4. Because she's doing her winter vocabulary wiki. And now that I've made the copy, I can remove these instructions. And there we go. All right, so she has to claim her topics. I'm actually going to do it for her because, once again, she's in China. So let's go back out to here, and I'm going to go into the vocabulary wiki. So let's go into the vocabulary wiki folder. And we're in the Big Idea 4 vocabulary wiki folder. For my new classes, if you're doing this as your summer assignment, then you're going to be in the Big Idea 1 vocabulary wiki folder. It will be the only one in there. So we've got the same instructions in here, and we've got the same participation log in here. And then the name of this folder, if you take a look, let's see, let me go back out just so that you can see the name of this folder. So this folder is called Big Idea 4, Biological Systems Interact, and these systems and their interactions possess complex properties. This is one of the 4 big ideas that the entire course is organized around. And your job is to learn how to support this big idea with the concepts and processes that you're learning this year, because you have to be able to do that for the AP exam. So that's the name of the overall folder. And then once I go inside, it's organized into 3 enduring understandings. So the first enduring understanding that comprises this big idea is 4A, interactions within biological systems lead to complex properties. So if I go in here, this enduring understanding is broken up into 6 essential knowledge statements. So the first essential knowledge statement is 4A1. The subcomponents of biological molecules and their sequence determine the properties of that molecule. And so you've got 6 of them. Now you have to do 6 initial posts. And if you wanted to, you could just pick 1 word from each of these 6 folders and just do all of your 6 posts in Enduring Understanding 4A. Or maybe you do 1 word from 4A1 and 1 word from 4A5, and then maybe you go into 4B and you do a couple words in there, and then maybe you do 1 or 2 words from 4C. So 4C, the enduring understanding is that naturally occurring diversity among and between components within biological systems affects interactions with the environment. So if I go in here, now I have 4 essential knowledge statements, and let's say that I want to pick a vocabulary wiki from the 4th one, 4C4. So this one says the diversity of species within an ecosystem may influence the stability of the ecosystem. So now if I go in here, I've got 4 or 5 vocabulary terms: artificial ecosystem, natural ecosystem, producers, keystone species, and ecosystem collapse. So I'm going to claim artificial ecosystem for Cherry. And I can do that by right-clicking and renaming it, or I could just go ahead and enter it. Wait for that to load. Okay, here we go. I just yawned on YouTube video. Alright, so I'm gonna wait for it to load so that I can rename it. It is still loading. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm gonna click on this title. Clicking on the title. It doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Okay, so I got the title. And I'm going to add Cherry's name in parentheses to it. And then I'll wait a few seconds for it to save. Because we're in Google Drive, as long as you're connected to the internet, your work saves automatically. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Cherry. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to wait for it to save, and then once it's saved, now if someone else comes in and picks artificial ecosystems, then they're going to see her name on it, and they're going to realize that they can't claim it for themselves. So now that I've claimed it, I'm going to go to the participation log, and for this post, I'm going to write in what just happened? Command C. That's how you undo stuff. You can just click Command Z, or on a PC you can click Control Z, and it undoes what you just did. Alright, so I'm going to write in artificial ecosystem because that was the vocabulary term that I claimed for her. And then the next thing is you have to fill out the folder code and name. So the folder code is right here. I can hover my mouse over it and it should give me the name. So it's 4C4. The diversity of species within an ecosystem may influence the stability of the ecosystem. So 4C4. Diversity of species in an ecosystem may influence the stability of the ecosystem. Alright, and stability is misspelled, so let me fix that. And is this a starred vocabulary term? Well, let's find out. So if I go back into the folder, I can see that producers is starred. I can see that keystone species is starred, ecosystem collapse is starred, but artificial ecosystem is not starred. So the answer is no. No, it is not starred. I'm going to highlight that. And where's the highlighter? Highlighter, where are you? Oh, here. I go to text color, click on highlight. Let's highlight it yellow. Okay, so now she can go ahead and type in a definition. So she can look in her textbook for that, or she can, go online. She can put in an example or brief illustration. She can put in a picture or an illustration. And then she can copy and paste all of that work into her participation log. She needs to have 6 of these done by the first deadline, which all the deadlines are posted on Portal. And then I can grade it. And then after that first deadline passes, now she can go into other people's wiki pages, and she can add in value-added comments. And then last of all, she's going to do her own like final comment for her her initial post. So let's say that someone puts a value-added comment in here. Well, then now she puts her cursor on it. She would hit the comment button, and then she would write a comment for this that might say something like, "What a great comment. I like it because blah 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 blah." Or you can write things like, you know, I feel like this thing was misrepresented. Here's the way that I see it. Or you can write something like, well, you know, so-and-so asked this question. Let me try to address it since no one else did. And so on and so forth. Okay, so if you have questions about how to do your vocabulary wiki, then go ahead and email me. And good luck, everyone.